and welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. At the end of November, the Constitutional Court of Ukraine appealed to the Venice Commission to evaluate the bill regarding amendments to the imperative mandate, in particular regarding the grounds for the early termination of powers of MPs. International experts concluded that the bill has a violation of human rights, the right to vote, and non-compliance with European standards. To talk more about this, we're joined in the studio today by Oleksandr Chebanenko. He's the expert on the law enforcement and judicial systems reform program of the Ukrainian Institute for the Future. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So the new grounds for early termination of the powers of MPs are non-personal voting in the Verkhovna Rada, absence of a deputy without good reason at a third of the plenary sessions or meetings of the parliamentary committee, as well as a way out of political power. And the Venice Commission stated that those new amendments are a violation to human rights. In what way?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, it's necessary to say some words about the Venice Commission. What is this? It's a special council body in which the best European lawyers take part as the councillors. But in case of Ukraine, the conclusions of this commission are obligable for us. And now we have in fact, yes, sure, in fact, they're obligable for us because of we have to show that the principles of the European law or the European legal systems are mutual for Ukraine.
Well, the new amendments do not comply with European standards as well.
And they told us that these new amendments are in conflict with the main demands, with the main rights which are mentioned in our Constitution and the European Declaration. First of all, the right to vote and to be elected in person to any bodies, to any state bodies. That is one of the constitutional rights given by our Constitution, and this right is mentioned in the European Declaration.
Right.
And from their point of view, and it seems to me that it has a great number of facts to be accepted, that these new laws are in conflict with the main demands of European laws.
What about the issue of non-personal voting? Because we all know that in Ukraine, deputies do perform this tricky procedure at time to time, voting for one another, whereas the real MPs are not actually present at the session hall. How do we? How can Ukrainian government withstand that? How can Ukrainian government fight that? Because accepting and proposing new bills and voting for new bills is a life-changing procedure for the whole nation of Ukraine.
Well, the personal voting is one of the main demands of any democratic system, because of it's connected with the person which was elected by the citizens, and when this person vote not personal, this can be conducted as the conflict with the main demands of the legal system.
Right. So should MPs be stripped of their powers after violating actually the procedure of voting?
They violate one of the main demands of any democratic system, that the laws are to be voted by the MPs in person. And from this point of view, we can say that these demands have the democratic basic as well.
All right, what happens next now that the Venice Commission has stated that the new amendments are a violation of human rights? Now that the new amendments have been recognized to be in conflict with the European standards. Should Ukrainian government change the bill again, and how?
Well, saying truthfully, not government, but our parliament.
The parliament. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Because
the parliament.
the laws are the sphere of interest of our parliament. Yes, surely. Saying truthfully, the demands of these commissions may not be obligational for the country, but because of it's a council body. The Venice Commission is the council body, but it seems to me that it would be better for Ukraine to make the amendments with in respect of their conclusions, because of now we have the support from the European Commission, from European countries. And if we come in conflict with their demands, we'll be alone in our way. So in any fact, we have to have some friends, some support members. Thus, we are to amend these laws in accordance with their demands.
How should those laws be written out in order to be in accordance with the European standards?
Well, it seems to me that it would be better to transfer the conclusions of these commissions directly in our new amendments.
Should Ukrainian Parliament, let's say, invite to the cooperation, let's say, international experts to work on the law in order for it to comply with the European standards and the European Commission statement?
In any case, any cooperation with such high-level specialists would be supported, but. Saying truthfully, before these changes, amendments were made, a great number of lawyers, our domestic lawyers, told the same.
Maybe, just maybe, this is just one of the points of view that the prolonging of the working process on the new amendments on the early termination of the powers of MPs is the chance for the existing MPs to do what they basically want without the punishment.
Well, I think that our MPs, first of all, want not to act without any punishment, but to fulfill the aims of Ukrainian citizens to vote for quality new quality in legislation, because of now we are in need of a great number of laws to be amended or founded at all, and the MPs are. It seems to me that it's my personal point of view. They have to do their best to work as real MPs, not as some people who don't care about the future of their country.
Well, you mentioned that current MPs have to work on the amendments on a lot of laws.
Yeah, sure.
And this brings me to my next question. Since they're going to be doing a large load of work, is there going to be an issue of quantity over quality?
First of all, the question of quality is to be mentioned, because of now they have the majority in the parliament, and they have all the powers to change the situation. That majority would not be endless, and everybody understands that they are to do their best to use this majority now to change the situation, the legal situation in our country, to fulfill the European traditions, to change these laws to be more civilized than now. So, first of all, it would be the point of quality, not quantity, but that do their best to change as more laws as possible.
Well, we're all eagerly waiting for the positive change of the situation in Ukraine, and hopefully it's going to happen in the nearest future. Thank you so much for coming to our studio today. That was Oleksandr Chebanenko. He's the expert on the law enforcement and judicial systems reform program of the Ukrainian Institute for the Future. Thank you so much for watching Head to Head. Stay tuned with UATV.